Get out!
My own mother just threw me out of my chair at Christmas dinner because apparently, I was sitting in a Korean Mafia boss's spot. No, I'm not kidding. Yes, this is my life now. If you think that's wild, wait until you hear what happens next. Smash that subscribe button and drop a like right now. And comment where you are watching from. The turkey wasn't even carved yet when my mother literally yanked me out of my seat by my sweater. Emma, get up. Now. Her face was doing that thing where it turns 3 shades redder than her holiday lipstick. I looked up from my phone, mid-text to my best friend about how boring this Christmas was about to be. Mom, what the? That seat is for the Korean Mafia CEO. The entire dining room went silent. My dad froze with the carving knife mid-air. My younger brother's mouth hung open, cranberry sauce dripping off his spoon. Even our golden retriever stopped begging for scraps. I'm sorry, what? I didn't move. Couldn't move. Because what do you even do with that information? Don't make me repeat myself, Emma Claire Bennett. Up. Mom, have you been drinking the cooking wine again? I stage whispered, earning a death glare that could have curdled eggnog. The Kims are coming for dinner. Mr. Kim specifically requested that seat. It faces the door, apparently it's a security thing. She was wringing her hands now, her eyes darting between me and the front windows like she expected armed guards to rappel through them any second. The Kims? As in, our new neighbors? The ones who moved into the Henderson mansion. I still wasn't moving, mostly because my brain was trying to process the phrase Korean Mafia CEO coming out of my suburban soccer mom's mouth. Yes. Now move before they get here. So let me get this straight. I leaned back in the chair, my chair, the one I'd sat in since I was 12, and crossed my arms. You invited actual criminals to Christmas dinner, and I'm the problem? My dad finally found his voice. Honey, we don't know they're criminals. They're just businessmen. Oh my God, Dad. Mom literally just said mafia. Korean organized crime is very different from, Mom started, but I cut her off. MOM. Mafia. Christmas. Pick a lane. That's when the doorbell rang. We all froze like some deranged family portrait. Silent Night played softly from the Bluetooth speaker. The turkey steamed. The doorbell chimed again. Emma. Move. Now. Fine. Fine. I grabbed my wineglass and relocated to the kids' table. The actual kids' table with the wobbly leg and the tablecloth covered in dancing reindeer. At 26 years old, I was now sitting at the kids' table because of the mafia. My mom smoothed her dress, took 3 deep breaths, and opened the door. Mr. Kim. Mrs. Kim. Welcome, welcome. Merry Christmas. I peered around the corner, expecting. I don't know. Scarface? The Godfather? Guys in black suits with suspicious bulges under their jackets? What I got was a middle-aged couple who looked like they'd walked out of a luxury car commercial. Mrs. Kim wore an elegant cream dress and held a designer handbag that probably cost more than my car. Mr. Kim had on a perfectly tailored suit and smiled warmly at my mother. Thank you so much for having us, Mrs. Kim said in lightly accented English, handing my mom a bottle of wine that definitely didn't come from the grocery store. We brought some Korean side dishes as well. I hope that's all right. Oh, how thoughtful. Normal. They seemed completely, absolutely boring normal. I relaxed slightly, took a sip of wine, and that's when he walked in. Tall. Impossibly tall. With black hair pushed back from a face that looked like it had been personally crafted by every deity with good taste. He wore all black, black suit, black shirt, no tie, and moved with the kind of fluid confidence that made everyone in the room instinctively step back. His eyes swept the room in one assessing glance. They paused on me, sitting at the kids' table like some kind of Christmas punishment, and one corner of his mouth lifted in what might have been amusement. Then he walked straight to my chair, the one facing the door, and sat down. This is our son Ji-hoon, Mrs. Kim announced proudly. Ji-hoon. Of course his name sounded like it should be whispered in the dark. He nodded politely to my parents, and when he spoke, his voice was deep and smooth with just a hint of an accent. Thank you for the invitation. It's nice to meet the neighbors. Emma, come sit at the big table. My mom shot me a look that said play nice or I'm writing you out of the will. The only open seat was directly across from Ji-hoon. Perfect. Just perfect. I grabbed my wine and settled into the chair with as much dignity as I could muster, which wasn't much considering everyone had just watched me get demoted to the kids' table. Ji-hoon's eyes met mine across the table. They were dark, unreadable, and focused entirely on me in a way that made my skin feel too warm. So, I said, because someone had to break this weird tension and it clearly wasn't going to be my starstruck parents. Korean Mafia, huh? What's that like? Do you have a special handshake or is it more of a leave the gun, take the cannoli situation? My mother made a sound like a dying moose. My father dropped his fork. But Ji-hoon? Ji-hoon laughed. Actually laughed. A low, genuine sound that somehow made him even more attractive, which seemed unfair. You have an interesting way of breaking the ice, Emma. It's a gift. Also a curse. Mostly a curse. I took a long sip of wine. So are you going to answer the question or? The family business is import-export, he said smoothly. Very boring. Lots of paperwork. Aha. And does this import-export business require you to sit facing the door at all times? What are you expecting, a rival Christmas turkey cartel? His smile widened. Just old habits. From all that paperwork. Exactly. Right. Sure. And I'm the sugar plum fairy. You do have a certain. His gaze traveled over me slowly, deliberately. Sparkle. Oh. Oh no. That should not have made my stomach flip. My mom practically vibrated with anxiety. Emma, honey, maybe help me bring out the side dishes? Translation. Shut up before you get us all killed. But before I could respond, Ji-hoon leaned forward slightly, his eyes never leaving mine. Actually, I'd love to hear more about what Emma does. Your mother mentioned you work in the city. I'm a book editor, I said. Romance novels, specifically. So I spend my days reading about dangerous men falling for smart-mouthed women. It's very educational. Something flashed in his eyes. Interest? Amusement? Plans to make me disappear? Romance novels, he repeated. That must be enlightening. Oh, it is. Just last week I edited a scene where the hero was a Yakuza boss who fell for his accountant. Spoiler alert, there was a lot of dangerous business that had nothing to do with numbers. My mother had actually left the table. I could hear her stress-eating chocolate in the kitchen. Ji-hoon's smile turned into something else. Something that made the air between us feel charged. I'd love to hear more about your work, he said quietly. Perhaps over coffee? Tomorrow. Wait. Was he asking me out? The Korean Mafia CEO who'd stolen my chair was asking me out? Sure. Yeah. Coffee. Smooth, Emma. Real smooth. Perfect. He pulled out his phone, an expensive model I didn't recognize, and slid it across the table. Your number. I was typing it in when my brother, who'd been silent this whole time, suddenly piped up. So Mr. Kim, what kind of stuff do you import? Is it like weapons or? The temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. Mr. Kim's smile didn't waver, but something in his eyes went hard. Electronics mostly. Boring business talk. Let's enjoy this wonderful meal. Ji-hoon's phone buzzed in his pocket. He glanced at it, and for just a second, his expression shifted into something cold and dangerous. Then he looked back at me, and the warmth returned like he'd flipped a switch. I should take this. Excuse me. He stood smoothly and walked toward the front door, phone already at his ear. Through the window, I watched him pace on our front lawn, his body language completely different. Tense, commanding. He was speaking rapid Korean, his voice low and sharp. He likes you, Mrs. Kim said suddenly, making me jump. What? She smiled knowingly. Ji-hoon never asks women to coffee. Never. You must be special. Or he thinks I know too much and plans to. I made a slicing motion across my throat. Mrs. Kim laughed like I'd told the funniest joke. Oh, you are delightful. No wonder he's interested. Ji-hoon returned a few minutes later, and the rest of dinner passed in a blur of increasingly awkward conversation where my parents tried way too hard to be impressive and I tried not to stare at the man across from me who was either a legitimate businessman or a legitimate crime boss and either way, had just asked me on a date. When the Kims finally left, Ji-hoon paused at the door, caught my eye, and mouthed, "Tomorrow, 10 a.m. I'll text you." The door closed. My mother immediately spun on me. "Emma Claire Bennett. Are you insane? You practically accused them of." He asked me out. She stopped mid-rant. "What? Coffee. Tomorrow. He asked me out." My parents exchanged a look. "Absolutely not," my father started, but my phone buzzed. "Unknown number. This is Ji-hoon. Sleep well, Emma. And for what it's worth, I liked your spot at the table better anyway. More character. JK. I looked up at my family, at their worried faces, at the chair Ji-hoon had sat in, the one facing the door. And I smiled. "Yeah," I said. "I'm definitely going." Because dangerous men falling for smart-mouthed women? That was my specialty. Even if this time, I was the smart-mouthed woman. What happens on their coffee date? And what was that phone call about? Comment below if you think Emma's making the biggest mistake of her life or the best decision ever. Coffee and confessions. My phone buzzed at 8 a.m. with an address. Not just any address, the most exclusive cafe in the city. The kind of place that didn't have prices on the menu because if you had to ask, you couldn't afford it. JK, wear something comfortable. We might walk after. If that's okay. I stared at the text. The Korean Mafia CEO used proper punctuation and asked permission. My romance novels had not prepared me for this. Me, define comfortable. Like yoga pants comfortable or, I'm secretly testing if you can run in heels comfortable. JK, face with tears of joy sneakers. Definitely sneakers. JK, though I'm now curious about the heels thing. Oh, he had jokes. Dangerous, possibly criminal jokes. I showed up at 9:55 a.m. in jeans, a soft sweater, and my favorite sneakers. The ones that were cute but could absolutely be used for a quick getaway if needed. Because I read romance novels, not stupidity guides. Ji-hoon was already there, standing outside the cafe in dark jeans and a black leather jacket that should have looked try-hard but instead looked, well, illegal in the best way. He was on his phone again, speaking Korean in that same commanding tone I'd heard last night. When he saw me, his entire demeanor shifted. The phone disappeared into his pocket, and he smiled. The kind of smile that probably made people sign contracts they shouldn't. "Emma." He said my name like it was important. "You're early." "I'm punctual." There's a difference. I gestured to the cafe. This place looks like it requires a blood oath just to see the menu. "Just good coffee." He opened the door for me, his hand briefly touching the small of my back as I passed. The touch was light, proper, and somehow made every nerve ending I had stand at attention. "And they have the best pain chocolate in the city." "Oh, so you're trying to seduce me with carbs. Classic mafia move." He laughed, that same genuine sound from last night. "Is it working? I'll let you know after I taste the chocolate." The cafe was somehow even more intimidating inside. Marble floors, velvet chairs, actual art on the walls. The kind of place where people discussed mergers and acquisitions over espresso. We were immediately led to a private corner table by a waiter who called Ji-hoon Mr. Kim, with the kind of deference usually reserved for royalty or people who could make you disappear. "So," I said once we were seated with coffee and pastries that looked too pretty to eat, "do you bring all your dates to places where the waiter looks terrified of you, or am I special?" Ji-hoon leaned back in his chair, studying me with those dark eyes. "You're definitely special." "Because I called you out on the mafia thing?" "Because you're the first person in a long time who's talked to me like I'm a normal person." He took a sip of his coffee. "Most people either want something from me or are afraid of me." "And which category do your usual dates fall into?" "I don't date." I paused mid-bite of the world's best pain chocolate. Like, ever. Not in years. He said it matter-of-factly, like he was discussing the weather. The family business takes up most of my time. And the women who are interested are usually interested in what my family can do for them. So why ask me out? I mean, besides my sparkling personality and ability to make Christmas dinner deeply uncomfortable. His smile turned into something softer. That. Exactly that. You looked at me last night and saw a man who'd stolen your chair. Not a Kim. Not someone to be afraid of or use. Just an annoying guy at Christmas dinner. You were annoying. That's my seat. I know. Your mother told me. 3 times. Wait, she knew it was my seat and still made me move? The first 2 times were before we arrived. The 3rd time was while you were glaring at me over the turkey. He was trying not to laugh. She was very concerned you'd say something that would upset the nice neighbors. Oh my God. My own mother threw me under the bus. To be fair, you did accuse me of running a Christmas turkey cartel. I have no regrets about that. It was a solid theory. We fell into easy conversation after that, the kind that shouldn't happen on first dates but did anyway. He asked about my work, and I found myself telling him about the ridiculous plot lines I edited, the authors I worked with, the satisfaction of helping someone tell their story. So you spend your days reading about dangerous men, he said thoughtfully. But you don't actually like dangerous men. I like the idea of dangerous men. Fictional ones who are secretly soft and would burn the world down for the right woman. I pointed my croissant at him. Real dangerous men are usually just dangerous and terrible at communication and emotionally unavailable. That's fair. He was quiet for a moment. What if I told you I'm trying very hard to be the fictional kind? My heart did something stupid in my chest. Are you? For you? Yes. Okay. That was a lot. Ji-hoon. I know this is fast. I know you barely know me. But I haven't been able to stop thinking about you since you asked me about the turkey cartel. He leaned forward, his eyes intense. You're funny and smart and you don't take shit from anyone, including me. And I'd really like to see where this goes. If you'll let me. I should have said no. Should have remembered that his father was definitely involved in something sketchy, that Ji-hoon himself probably had secrets that would make my hair curl, that this was insane. Instead, I said, the fictional dangerous men also take the heroine on adventurous dates. Just coffee doesn't really cut it. His smile was pure sin. Good thing I planned a walk then. The walk turned out to be through a private botanical garden that was closed to the public. How did you? I know people. He said it simply, taking my hand as we walked through paths lined with winter flowers. His hand was warm, slightly calloused, and held mine like it was precious. This is very romance novel of you, I admitted. Secret gardens, hand-holding, meaningful glances. Is it working? Unfortunately, yes. We walked in comfortable silence for a while, and I found myself relaxing in a way I hadn't expected. There was something about Ji-hoon that felt safe. Which was ironic considering everything I suspected about his family. Can I ask you something? I finally said. Anything. Last night. That phone call. You looked different. Harder. He didn't let go of my hand, but I felt him tense slightly. That was business. The import-export kind? Emma. I'm not stupid, Ji-hoon. And I'm not going to pretend I don't see what's obvious. But I need to know what I'm getting into here. Because if this goes anywhere, if we actually do this, I need honesty. We stopped walking. He turned to face me fully, his expression serious. My family is involved in things that aren't entirely legal, he said quietly. But I'm trying to change that. To make us legitimate. It's why I came back from the States. I have an MBA from Harvard, and I'm working to transition everything into legal businesses. Real import-export, real estate, technology investments. And the people who don't want things to change? They're why I sit facing doors. He touched my face gently. They're also why I shouldn't be here with you. Why this is selfish of me. Because getting close to me could put you in danger. Is that why you don't date? Yes. I should have walked away. This was the moment in the romance novel where the smart heroine says thanks but no thanks, and goes back to her safe, boring life. But I'd read enough romance novels to know something else too. Sometimes the danger is worth it. What if I'm willing to take that risk? His thumb brushed across my cheekbone. Then I'd say you're either very brave or very foolish. Can't it be both? He kissed me. Soft at first, testing, giving me every chance to pull away. When I didn't, when I kissed him back and gripped his jacket to pull him closer, it deepened into something that made my knees weak and my brain short-circuit. He kissed like he did everything else, with complete focus and devastating effectiveness. When we finally broke apart, we were both breathing hard. So, I managed. Second date. Dinner. Tomorrow. I'll cook. You cook. I'm Korean. Of course I cook. He was smiling again, that soft smile I was quickly becoming addicted to. And before you ask, yes, my apartment faces the door. No, there are no bodies in the freezer. Yes, you can check. I'm bringing pepper spray anyway. I'd expect nothing less. We walked back through the garden, hands linked, and I tried not to think about how fast this was moving or how crazy it was to date someone whose family was involved in organized crime. Instead, I focused on how right his hand felt in mine, how easy he was to talk to, how he looked at me like I was something rare and wonderful. My phone buzzed. Mom, how's the date? Are you still alive? Should I call the police? Me, still alive. He's actually really nice. Also, we're going to talk about you throwing me under the bus. Mom, I saved your life. Me, you made me sit at the kids' table. Mom, small price for safety. I showed Ji-hoon the texts. He laughed and pulled out his own phone. Mom Kim, Ji-hoon says the date is going well. Is Emma seeing anyone seriously? She seems perfect for him. Oh my God, our mothers are conspiring. They had 2 hours at dinner. I'm honestly surprised they're not already planning the wedding. Wedding? He pulled me close, still laughing. Relax. I'll need at least 3 more dates before I propose. 3. I'm kidding. He kissed my forehead. Probably 4. We spent the rest of the afternoon walking, talking, and generally acting like people who'd known each other for years instead of 24 hours. He told me about growing up between Korea and the US, about the pressure of family expectations, about his dreams of legitimate business success. I told him about my romance novel obsession, my career goals, my slightly crazy family. It was easy, natural, perfect. Which should have been my first clue that something was about to go very, very wrong. We were heading back to his car when 3 men in dark suits appeared from a side path. They didn't look friendly. Ji-hoon immediately stepped in front of me, his whole body language shifting into something dangerous. Mr. Kim, one of the men said in accented English. Your uncle would like a word. Tell my uncle I'm busy. He insists. The tension ratcheted up about 1,000 notches. I could feel Ji-hoon's muscles coiled tight, ready for... What? A fight? An escape? Emma, he said quietly, not taking his eyes off the men. When I move, you run. Straight back to the cafe. There are people there who... I'm not leaving you. Emma. Nope. Not happening. We're in this together, remember? That's how this works in the books. One of the men smiled. Not a nice smile. She's brave. Or stupid. I can't tell which. Both, I said firmly. Definitely both. Ji-hoon's hand found mine, squeezed once. My uncle can wait. Tell him I'll come by tomorrow. He said now. And I said tomorrow. The standoff lasted about 10 more seconds before one of the men's phones rang. He answered, listened, and his expression shifted to something that might have been respect. He says tomorrow is acceptable. But he wants to meet her too. He nodded toward me. Absolutely not. Those are his terms, Mr. Kim. Ji-hoon turned to me, his expression torn between protective and something that looked like fear. You don't have to. What time? I asked the men. Emma, no. Ji-hoon. I squeezed his hand. If we're doing this, really doing this, I can't hide from your family forever. Might as well rip off the band-aid. She's either very brave, one of the men started, or very foolish, I finished. Yeah, we've established this. What time tomorrow? 7 p.m. We'll send a car. They left as quickly as they'd appeared, melting back into the garden paths like expensive, threatening shadows. Ji-hoon pulled me into his arms, holding me tight. I'm sorry. God, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have. This is exactly why. Hey. I pulled back to look at him. I'm okay. We're okay. It's just dinner with your uncle, right? My uncle is complicated. Is complicated code for will definitely try to intimidate me? Yes. Good. I'm excellent at being intimidated and then doing the thing anyway. It's my superpower. He kissed me again, desperate this time, like he was trying to memorize the feeling. You're insane. You asked me out, so what does that make you? The luckiest man alive. Or the most selfish? I'm still not sure. We drove back to the city in his car. A sleek black sedan that probably cost more than my yearly salary. His hand stayed on my thigh the whole time, grounding, possessive in a way that should have annoyed me but didn't. When he dropped me off at my apartment, he walked me to the door like a proper gentleman. Which made the thoroughly improper kiss that followed even better. Tomorrow, he murmured against my lips. Dinner at 6. Meet my uncle at 7. Try not to worry. I'm definitely going to worry. Worry sexy. It's very attractive on you. I laughed and pushed him away. Go. Before my neighbors start gossiping. Too late. He gestured to Mrs. Chen's window, where the curtain was definitely twitching. Pretty sure we're going to be the talk of the building. Mrs. Chen already thinks I'm a prostitute because I work from home and get a lot of Amazon deliveries. What does Amazon have to do with? You know what, I don't want to know. He kissed me one more time. Sleep well, Emma. And if you change your mind about tomorrow, about any of this, I'll understand. I won't. Promise. Promise. I watched him drive away, then immediately called my best friend. Sophie. I need you to talk me out of falling for a Korean Mafia CEO. The what now? Long story. Can you come over? I'm bringing wine. And possibly the police. Which do you need more? Wine. Definitely wine. 2 hours and 1 bottle of Pinot Grigio later, Sophie stared at me from my couch with an expression that was part horror, part reluctant admiration. Okay, she said slowly. Let me see if I have this straight. Your mom made you sit at the kids' table. For the mafia. And then the hot mafia son asked you out. And you said yes. And now you're having dinner with his uncle, who is presumably even more mafia. That's pretty much it, yeah. Emma. Bestie. Light of my life. Have you lost your entire mind? Probably. He could be dangerous. He is dangerous. That's kind of the point. This isn't one of your romance novels. I know that. Do you? Because you're acting like this is some enemies to lovers slow burn when it's actually organized crime. I sipped my wine. He's trying to go legitimate. And he's really sweet. And the way he kisses. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. We are not swooning over the mafia kisses. You're the one who's always telling me to put myself out there. I meant online dating. Maybe a guy from a bookstore. Not the literal Korean mafia. My phone buzzed. JK, can't stop thinking about today. Is it inappropriate to text you this late? Me, it's 10 p.m., not 3 a.m. You're fine. JK, good. Because I wanted to say, today was perfect. You were perfect. Me, even the part where your uncle's goons crashed our date? JK, especially that part. You didn't run. Most people run. Me, most people are smarter than me. JK, Most people are boring. Sleep well, Emma. Dream of me. Winking face. I was smiling at my phone like an idiot when Sophie snatched it away. Oh my God, you're already gone. You're gone. I can see it on your face. I'm not gone. I'm cautiously optimistic. You're falling for him. Okay, maybe a little. But Sophie, he's different. When he looks at me, it's like I'm the only person in the world. And he's funny and smart, and he wants to change his family's business, and he has an uncle who sends goons to crash dates. Yeah, there's that. Sophie sighed and handed my phone back. Fine. But I'm doing a full background check. And if I find anything sketchier than regular rich people sketchy, you're out. Deal. And I'm coming shopping with you tomorrow to find an outfit that says, I'm not intimidated by mafia uncles, but also please don't kill me. That's a very specific aesthetic. That's what best friends are for. After Sophie left, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of the day. The coffee, the garden, the kiss, the confrontation, the promises. My phone buzzed one more time. JK, one more thing. Tomorrow, whatever my uncle says or does, remember that I choose you. I'm choosing you. That's not going to change. Me, even if he threatens to kill me. JK, especially then. Though he probably won't. Probably. Sleep well, my brave, foolish Emma. Red heart. A heart emoji. The Korean Mafia CEO had sent me a heart emoji. I was absolutely, completely, utterly screwed. And I couldn't wait for tomorrow. What do you think Uncle Kim has planned? Will Emma survive dinner with the family? Drop your predictions below. Meet the family, don't die. Sophie dragged me to 5 different stores before we found the outfit. You need to look confident but respectful, she explained, holding up yet another dress. Like you could run a Fortune 500 company but also wouldn't narc on anyone to the feds. That's oddly specific. We're dressing you for mafia dinner, Emma. This requires strategy. We ended up with a sleek black dress that hit just above the knee, professional but not stuffy, elegant but not trying too hard. Paired with low heels, because Sophie agreed that stilettos seemed impractical for potential fleeing, I looked like someone who belonged in Jihoon's world. Even if I absolutely didn't. Remember, Sophie said as she did my makeup. Don't accept any drinks you didn't see poured. Don't insult anyone. Don't mention anything about their business. And for the love of God, don't make any jokes about cannoli or sleeping with fishes. That's The Godfather. This is Korean. Organized crime is organized crime, Emma. My phone buzzed. JK, I'm outside. You don't have to do this. We can go to my place, order pizza, pretend the rest of the world doesn't exist. It was tempting. So tempting. Me, I'm not backing out. Though pizza does sound amazing. JK, tomorrow. Pizza, wine, and nothing but us. I promise. Me, deal. Now stop trying to rescue me and let's do this. JK, have I mentioned you're incredible? Me, not in the last 10 minutes. I was starting to worry. Sophie squealed. Oh my God, you're flirting. In the face of danger. This is either true love or a serious survival mechanism. Can't it be both? Jihoon was waiting by his car, and when he saw me, his expression did something that made the 5-store shopping marathon completely worth it. Emma. He said my name like a prayer. You look like I could run a Fortune 500 company but wouldn't narc to the feds? He blinked. That's actually exactly right. How did you? Sophie's very thorough. He kissed me softly, carefully, like I was something precious. Last chance to run. Stop trying to scare me off. It's not working. I'm trying to protect you. I know. I squeezed his hand. But I'm a big girl. I can handle dinner with your scary uncle. He's going to test you. Push buttons. Try to figure out if you're really good for me or just another person trying to use me. What if I fail? You won't. His confidence was absolute. Because you're you. Just be yourself. The woman who accused me of running a turkey cartel and sat at the kids' table without complaining. I complained a little. Internally. That counts as restraint. The drive to dinner was shorter than I wanted it to be. Ji-hoon kept my hand in his the whole way, occasionally lifting it to kiss my knuckles like we were in some Regency romance. Nervous? He asked. Terrified. You? Same. He looked at me seriously. My uncle raised me after my father got sick. He's the one who built most of what we have now. And he's very protective of the family. So if he doesn't like me, he will. He has to. Because I'm not giving you up. The restaurant was the kind of place that didn't have a sign. You either knew where it was or you didn't belong there. Ji-hoon pulled into a private garage, and we were immediately met by two men who looked like they bench-pressed cars for fun. Mr. Kim. Miss Bennett. This way. We were led through a private entrance, up an elevator that required a key, and into a room that looked like it belonged in a palace. Crystal chandeliers, silk wallpaper, a table that could seat 20 but was set for 4. 4. Who else is coming? I whispered to Ji-hoon. Before he could answer, a door opened and a woman walked in. She was probably mid-40s, stunningly beautiful, and wore an expression that suggested she could kill you with her pinky finger and still look elegant doing it. Ji-hoon. She pulled him into a hug, speaking rapid Korean, then turned to me with an assessing look. And this must be Emma. The one who's captured my nephew's attention. Aunt Min-ji, Ji-hoon said, pulling me close. Emma, this is my aunt. She's the family's chief financial officer, Min-ji finished smoothly. Among other things. It's lovely to meet you, Emma. We've heard so much about the woman brave enough to challenge Ji-hoon at Christmas dinner. Or stupid enough, I said automatically, then wanted to kick myself. I mean. She laughed. I like her already. She has a spine. Good. You'll need it. A door at the far end opened, and everyone went quiet. The man who entered was in his 60s, silver-haired, and moved with the kind of presence that made you instinctively straighten your posture. He wore an expensive suit and an expression that gave away absolutely nothing. Uncle, Ji-hoon said respectfully, bowing slightly. Ji-hoon. The man's eyes moved to me. And Miss Bennett. Welcome. His English was perfect, barely accented. His handshake was firm but not crushing. His smile didn't reach his eyes. I was absolutely, definitely going to die here. Thank you for inviting me, Mr. Kim. Please. Call me uncle. If you're important to Ji-hoon, your family. He said it warmly, but something in his tone suggested this was a test question. Sit. Let's eat and get to know each other. Dinner was a parade of the most incredible Korean food I'd ever tasted, served by silent staff who appeared and disappeared like ghosts. The conversation started safely. My work, my family, how I'd met Ji-hoon. So your mother invited us to Christmas dinner, Uncle said thoughtfully. That was very welcoming of her. She was terrified you'd think we were poor and uncultured, I said honestly. She made me sit at the kids' table so Ji-hoon could have the good chair. Min-ji nearly spit out her wine. Uncle's eyes crinkled with what might have been amusement. And how did you feel about that? He asked. Annoyed. It was my chair. I'd been sitting there for 14 years. But you moved. My mother has a very effective death glare. Self-preservation won over principle. Interesting. He took a sip of wine. And now? Now that you know who we are, what we do. You're still here. Why? This was it. The real test. I looked at Ji-hoon, who was watching me with an expression that was part hope, part fear. Then back at his uncle. Because when I look at Ji-hoon, I don't see who you are or what you do. I see a man who's kind and funny and trying really hard to make the right choices. A man who asks permission before holding my hand and sends heart emojis like he's worried I might forget he likes me. I took a breath. I see someone worth taking a risk for. Even if that risk scares the hell out of me. Silence. Then Uncle Kim smiled. actually smiled warm and genuine. You love him. We've known each other 2 days. Time is irrelevant. The heart knows. He looked at Ji-hoon. You chose well, nephew. Ji-hoon's hand found mine under the table, gripping tight. However, Uncle continued, and the temperature dropped again. Loving a Kim comes with complications. Dangers. There are people who would hurt you to hurt us. People who wouldn't hesitate to use you as leverage. I know. Do you? Really? He leaned forward. Last month, a rival family tried to kidnap Ji-hoon's cousin's girlfriend. She was traumatized for months. The month before that, someone planted a bomb in my car. My driver died. These are not hypothetical dangers, Emma. This is our reality. I felt sick. Ji-hoon's hand was shaking in mine. Uncle, he started, but Minji cut him off. What my brother is trying to say, very dramatically, is that we need to know you understand the risks. That you're not going into this blind. I'm not blind, I said quietly. I'm scared. I'm terrified, actually. But I'm also not running. Because the alternative is giving up something that feels really important before it even has a chance to start. Uncle studied me for a long moment. You work with romance novels, yes? I edit them. And they all have happy endings. The good ones do. Life is not a romance novel, Emma. I know that. I met his eyes. But that doesn't mean we can't fight for a happy ending anyway. Another silence. Then Uncle Kim started laughing. A deep, genuine sound that made everyone at the table relax. I see why you like her, he said to Ji-hoon. She's either very wise or very naive. Both, Ji-hoon and I said simultaneously. Uncle raised his glass. To new beginnings. And to brave, foolish women who see the man beneath the reputation. We toasted. The tension broke. The rest of dinner was almost normal. Uncle told embarrassing stories about young Ji-hoon. Minji shared details about the family's legitimate business ventures. I started to see them as people, not just dangerous criminals. As dessert was served, Uncle's phone rang. His expression shifted immediately. Excuse me. I need to take this. He stepped away, and I could hear him speaking rapid, angry Korean. Ji-hoon tensed beside me. What's wrong? I whispered. That tone. Something's happened. Uncle returned, his face grim. Ji-hoon. We need to talk. Privately. Uncle, whatever it is, you can say it in front of Emma. This is family business. She is family. Ji-hoon's voice was firm. Anything you tell me, she should know too. Uncle looked at me, then at Ji-hoon, then sighed. The Park family is making a move. They've been buying up properties around our warehouses. Cutting into our territory. The Parks. Minji's expression darkened. They wouldn't dare directly challenge us. They would if they thought we were weak. If they thought we were distracted. Uncle's eyes moved to me. New relationships make people vulnerable. Sloppy. I'm not distracted, Ji-hoon said sharply.
Good evening, ladies.
Aren't you?
I hope
You've
I'm
been
not too late to
different
join the
these past
celebration.
2 days. Happier. Less focused
Please,
on business.
let's calm down.
Being happy doesn't make me weak. In this world, it absolutely does. I felt like I was watching a car crash in slow motion. This was it, the moment where Uncle Kim would tell Ji-hoon to choose between me and the family. But before anyone could speak, Minji's phone buzzed. She looked at it and went pale. We have a bigger problem. One of our shipments was intercepted. The one with the sensitive cargo. How sensitive? Uncle asked quietly. Very. If it gets traced back to us. Then we're done. Everything we've built, everything Ji-hoon has been trying to legitimize. Uncle stood. We need to handle this. Now. Ji-hoon stood too. I'm coming with you. No. You're staying here with Emma. This doesn't concern. It's my company too, Uncle. My future. I'm coming. They stared at each other, two immovable forces. Finally, Uncle nodded. Fine. But Emma stays here. It's safer. I'll stay with her, Minji offered. We can discuss wedding dress styles. We are not getting married, I said quickly. Not yet, Ji-hoon corrected, kissing my forehead. I'll be back soon. I promise. Ji-hoon. But they were already leaving, Uncle barking orders into his phone, Ji-hoon throwing worried glances back at me. And then it was just me and Minji in the too fancy room with the half-eaten desserts. So, she said cheerfully, this is probably not how you imagined your second date going. Not exactly, no. Welcome to the family, Emma. It's always this chaotic. She poured us both more wine, and I tried not to think about sensitive cargo and intercepted shipments, and what exactly Ji-hoon was walking into. He really loves you, you know, Minji said softly. I've never seen him like this with anyone. We've known each other 2 days. Sometimes 2 days is enough. Sometimes you just know. She smiled. His parents met at a bus stop. His father proposed 3 days later. They were married 42 years before he died. 3 days. The Kim men, when they fall completely. It's actually quite beautiful. Also occasionally inconvenient. My phone buzzed. JK, I'm sorry about this. I'll make it up to you. Pizza tomorrow? Me, you're going to owe me a lot of pizza. JK, I'll buy you an entire pizzeria. I'm serious. Me, be safe. Please. JK, always. For you. 2 hours passed. Then 3. Minji kept me entertained with family stories and business gossip, but I could tell she was worried too. She kept checking her phone, her expression getting tighter each time. Finally, at almost midnight, the door opened. Ji-hoon walked in, looking exhausted but unharmed. His suit jacket was gone, his shirt sleeves rolled up, and there was a tension in his shoulders that hadn't been there before. Is it handled? Minji asked. For now. The shipment was legal, just electronics like we told the customs officials. Someone's trying to make us look guilty when we're not. The parks. Probably. Uncle's handling it. He looked at me. I'm sorry. This is not how tonight was supposed to go. Are you okay? I am now. He pulled me into his arms, holding me like I might disappear. God, Emma. Maybe Uncle's right. Maybe this is too dangerous. Maybe I'm being selfish keeping you around when. I pulled back and put my finger on his lips. Stop. We've been through this. I'm not going anywhere. But if something happened to you because of me, then we deal with it. Together. I cupped his face. You don't get to make this decision for me, Ji-hoon. I'm a grown woman. I know the risks. And I'm choosing this. I'm choosing you. He kissed me desperately, like I was oxygen and he'd been drowning. Minji cleared her throat. I'm going to give you two some privacy. Emma, it was lovely meeting you. Ji-hoon, your uncle wants to see you tomorrow morning. 9 a.m. Don't be late. She left, and then it was just us in this ridiculous fancy room. Come home with me, Ji-hoon said softly. Not for, I just want to hold you. To know you're safe. Okay. We drove to his apartment in comfortable silence, hands linked, both of us processing the chaos of the evening. His apartment was exactly what I expected. Expensive, modern, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. And yes, the furniture was arranged so he could see the door. I'll get you something to sleep in, he said, but I caught his hand. Ji-hoon. I'm okay. Really. Tonight was intense, but I'm okay. I keep waiting for you to realize how insane this is and leave. Well, stop waiting. Because I'm very stubborn. Ask anyone who knows me. He smiled, that soft smile I was addicted to. Pizza tomorrow? I meant it. I want a whole day with you. No family drama, no business emergencies. Just us. Just us sounds perfect. He kissed me slowly, sweetly, and then handed me one of his t-shirts to sleep in. I changed in his bathroom, a bathroom that had heated floors and a shower big enough for 4 people. And when I came out, he was sitting on his bed, still in his dress shirt and slacks, looking at me like I was the best thing he'd ever seen. "You're wearing my shirt. You gave it to me." "I know. But seeing you in it." He pulled me onto the bed beside him. "Emma, I need you to know something. Whatever happens, with my family, with the business, with any of this, you're my priority. You. Not the company, not the family legacy. You." "Ji-hoon. Let me finish. I know it's fast. I know it's crazy. But I've never been more sure of anything in my life." He tucked a strand of hair behind my ear. "I'm falling for you. Hard. And it terrifies me because I have so much to lose now. Then we'll be terrified together." I kissed him softly. "And we'll figure it out. Together." We fell asleep like that, wrapped around each other, and for the first time in days, I felt safe. Complete. Like maybe, just maybe, this crazy, dangerous, beautiful thing might actually work. I should have known better. Because at 3 a.m., both of our phones started ringing simultaneously. Ji-hoon answered his, face going from sleepy to alert in seconds. "What? When? Is anyone hurt?" I grabbed mine. It was Sophie. "Emma, oh my God, Emma. Turn on the news. Channel 7. Now." I fumbled for the remote, turning on Ji-hoon's massive TV. The headline made my blood run cold. "Breaking, Federal Investigation into Kim Family Businesses. Allegations of money laundering, smuggling, and organized crime." There was footage of FBI agents raiding what looked like warehouses. Documents being seized. And right there on screen, a photo of Ji-hoon, with the words "person of interest" underneath. "No," I whispered. "No, no, no." Ji-hoon ended his call, his face ashen. "Emma, I have to go. My uncle needs me. But you need to leave. Now. If the feds think we're connected." "I'm not leaving you. Emma, this is serious. They're going to question everyone associated with the family. Your name could come up. You could lose your job, your reputation." "I don't care." I grabbed his face, forcing him to look at me. "We're in this together, remember? For better or worse. We're not married, Emma." "Not yet. But the principle stands." His phone rang again. And again. The world was crashing down around us, and all I could think was, this is it. This is where the romance novel becomes real life. And real life doesn't always have happy endings. Oh no. Will Ji-hoon be arrested? Will Emma stand by him? How will they survive a federal investigation? Comment your theories below. When everything falls apart, but love holds on. The next 48 hours were a blur of lawyers, news cameras, and my phone ringing non-stop. Sophie called 12 times. My mother called 17. My boss called once, very politely asking if the Emma Bennett mentioned in connection with the Kim family investigation was me. I said yes. She said, "Take all the time you need." Which was corporate speak for "you're probably fired." Ji-hoon was unreachable. His phone went to voicemail. His apartment was swarmed with reporters. Even his mother, sweet Mrs. Kim, who'd brought Korean side dishes to Christmas, was being mobbed by news vans. I sat in my apartment, wearing his t-shirt, watching my entire life implode on national television. Sources say the investigation has been ongoing for 2 years. Allegations of smuggling. Ties to Korean organized crime. The family's legitimate businesses may be fronts for. My phone buzzed. Finally. Unknown number. This is Min-ji. Don't talk to anyone. Don't answer questions. I'm sending a lawyer to your apartment. His name is James Park. He'll be there in 20 minutes. Me, is Ji-hoon okay? Where is he? Min-ji safe. With uncle. Answering questions. He wanted me to tell you he's sorry. Me, sorry for what? Min-ji, for everything. For dragging you into this. He says if you want out, he understands. I stared at that message for a long time. Want out? Did I want out? My career was probably over. My face was probably going to end up on the news. My mother was probably having a stroke. My entire normal, safe, boring life was gone. But when I closed my eyes, all I could see was Ji-hoon's face. His smile. The way he held my hand like it was precious. The way he said my name like it mattered. Me, tell him I'm not going anywhere. We're in this together. Min-ji, he's going to cry when I tell him that. In a manly way. Very dignified crying. Me, tell him I'm wearing his shirt. Min-ji, okay, now he's definitely going to cry. The lawyer arrived exactly 20 minutes later. James Park was mid-30s, sharp-suited, and looked like he'd eaten federal prosecutors for breakfast. Ms. Bennett, we need to talk about your relationship with Ji-hoon Kim. Over the next 2 hours, he walked me through everything. What to say, what not to say, how to handle if the FBI wanted to question me. They'll try to use you to get to him, James explained. They'll say you can avoid charges if you cooperate. But you haven't done anything illegal. You've known him for 3 days. You have nothing to cooperate with. So what do I do? You tell the truth. You met at Christmas dinner. You went on 2 dates. You don't know anything about his business operations. He paused. Unless you know something? Just that he's trying to make everything legitimate. That he wants to change the family business. Good. That's good. Stick to that. James stood. One more thing. The media is going to paint you as either a naive victim or a willing accomplice. Don't engage. Don't defend yourself. Let us handle it. What about Ji-hoon? What's going to happen to him? That depends on what they find. The family has good lawyers. But if they have evidence... He trailed off. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. After he left, I did something stupid. I went outside. The reporters descended like vultures. Emma, did you know about the illegal activities? Are you in a relationship with Ji-hoon Kim? Did the family threaten you to keep quiet? How long have you been involved with organized crime? I pushed through them, saying nothing, which only made them more aggressive. Someone grabbed my arm. A camera flashed directly in my face. I was about to panic when a car pulled up. The door opened. Min-ji leaned out. Get in. Now. I dove into the car. We sped away from the reporters, and I finally let myself breathe. Thank you. You shouldn't have gone outside. That was stupid. I needed coffee. Sue me. Min-ji actually smiled. You're either very brave or very foolish. I know. It's becoming my brand. She drove us to an underground parking garage and led me through a maze of corridors to a private office. Uncle Kim was there, looking 10 years older than he had at dinner. Ji-hoon was beside him, tie loosened, eyes red like he hadn't slept. When he saw me, he was across the room in seconds, pulling me into his arms. You shouldn't be here, he whispered into my hair. It's not safe. You keep saying that. I keep not caring. Emma. Did you do it? I pulled back to look at him. Did you do what they're accusing you of? No. God, no. Everything in my name is legitimate. I have the paperwork to prove it. Then we fight. It's not that simple. Uncle Kim's voice was heavy. Even if Ji-hoon is clean, and he is, the family has history. Things from before he came back. Things that might implicate all of us. How bad? Uncle and Ji-hoon exchanged a look. Bad, Ji-hoon finally said. Potentially prison time bad. For my uncle, for Min-ji, possibly even for my mother. But not you. Not me. I've been careful. Every business venture, every transaction. It's all documented, all legal. But if my family goes down... He looked broken. How can I abandon them? They raised me. They gave me everything. This was it. The impossible choice. Family or freedom. Love or loyalty. I took his hand. Then we get them the best lawyers. We fight like hell. And we trust that the truth will come out. Emma, you don't understand. If I stay involved, if I defend them, it makes me look guilty too. My lawyers are advising me to distance myself. To save myself. And what do you want to do? I want to protect everyone. My family. You. I want to fix this without anyone getting hurt. That's not an option, Uncle Kim said quietly. Someone's going to get hurt, Ji-hoon. The question is who? Then it should be me. Ji-hoon's voice was firm. I'll take responsibility. Say I was running everything. That Uncle and Min-ji were just. Absolutely not, Min-ji snapped. You're the only one of us with a completely clean record. You're the future of this family. We're not sacrificing you. She's right, Uncle agreed. You distance yourself. You protect Emma. You build something new, something legitimate. Let us handle our own mistakes. I'm not abandoning you. You're not. You're doing what we raised you to do, surviving. I watched this family that I'd known for less than a week try to sacrifice themselves for each other, and something in my chest cracked open. What if there's another way? I said quietly. They all looked at me. What if Ji-hoon cooperates with the investigation? Tells them everything he knows about the legitimate transition? Shows them the documented proof of legal operations? He's not betraying anyone. He's showing that there was an effort to go legitimate. That not everyone in the family was involved in the illegal stuff. That could work, James Park said from the doorway. We all jumped. Sorry. I let myself in. Security's terrible, by the way. How long have you been standing there? Uncle demanded. Long enough. Emma's right. If Ji-hoon cooperates, shows good faith, demonstrates that he's been actively trying to legitimize operations, he becomes a witness, not a defendant. He might even help reduce sentences for the rest of you. Or he could look like a rat, Min-ji said. In our world, that's a death sentence. In the legitimate business world, it's called cooperation, James countered. And it's Ji-hoon's best shot at a future. With Emma. Outside of all this. Ji-hoon looked at me. Just looked at me, like I was the only person in the room. What do you think? He asked. I think you need to save yourself. Your family made their choices. You can honor them without destroying yourself. You're asking me to betray them. I'm asking you to choose a future. Our future. The weight of that hung in the air. Finally, Uncle Kim stood. She's right. And I'm ordering you, as head of this family, to cooperate. To save yourself. To build something better. Uncle. That's an order, Ji-hoon. Ji-hoon's eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry. Be smart. Be better than we were. Uncle pulled him into a hug. Make us proud by making something legitimate. Something good. Min-ji hugged him too. And marry this girl. She's got more sense than all of us combined. We've known each other 3 days. I protested. Kim family, remember? Min-ji grinned through her own tears. We move fast. The next month was hell. Ji-hoon spent hours every day with FBI agents, lawyers, and accountants. He handed over documents, explained business operations, showed them his plans for legitimizing the family empire. I got questioned too. 3 different times. They were aggressive, suspicious, certain I knew more than I was saying. I told them the truth. Christmas dinner. 2 dates. A man I was falling for who was trying to do the right thing. They didn't believe me at first. But my phone records backed me up. My credit cards showed no suspicious purchases. My life was exactly what it looked like. Boring, normal, uninvolved. Eventually, they let me go. My job wasn't so forgiving. Conflict of interest, they said. Optics, they said. We're sure you understand. I understood. I was fired for dating the wrong person. Sophie was furious on my behalf. Sue them. That's discrimination. It's not worth it. I'll find something else. Where? Every publishing house in the city has seen your face on the news. She was right. My career was over. But Ji-hoon was fighting for his life, his family, his future. My career problems seemed small in comparison. Through it all, we barely saw each other. Stolen moments between lawyer meetings. Texts at 2 a.m. when he couldn't sleep. Phone calls that lasted 5 minutes before someone needed him. But every message ended the same way. JK, I love you. I'm sorry. I love you. And every time, I responded. Me, I love you too. We're going to make it. I love you. We'd never actually said it out loud. But in texts, in the middle of chaos, it was real. 6 weeks after the initial raid, Uncle Kim and Minji took a plea deal. 5 years for Uncle, 3 for Minji, in exchange for full cooperation and restitution. Ji-hoon was cleared of all charges. The family businesses were liquidated, assets seized, everything dismantled. And Ji-hoon stood in the wreckage of his family's empire.
Good evening, ladies.
Free but
I
broken.
hope I'm not too late to join the
celebration. I found him at his apartment, the one he'd have to sell soon, staring out at the city. Hey, I said softly. He turned, and his face just crumbled. I caught him as he fell apart, holding him while he cried for his uncle, for Minji, for his mother who'd lost her brother and sister-in-law, for the family that had been destroyed. I destroyed them, he sobbed. I destroyed my own family. You saved them. They'd be facing 20 years without the cooperation deal. 5 years, Emma. 3 years. They're going to prison because of me. They're going to prison because of choices they made long before you came back from Harvard. I tilted his face up. And they made this choice, to protect you, to give you a future, because they love you. Don't make that sacrifice meaningless by destroying yourself with guilt. He kissed me desperately, and for the first time in weeks, we had time. No lawyers, no agents, no reporters. Just us. I have nothing now, he whispered against my lips. No family business, no money, they're seizing everything. I'm going to have to start over from scratch. Good. He pulled back. Good. Yeah, good. I smiled. You wanted to build something legitimate, something yours. Now you can. And I'll be right there with you. Emma, I can barely afford this apartment. I'm going to be living on savings and whatever I can make from consulting. You shouldn't tie yourself to. I kissed him to shut him up. I love you, you idiot. I don't care about money. I care about you. You love me. Of course I love you. I've been texting it to you for weeks. That's different than saying it. Fine. Ji-hoon Kim, I love you. I love your stupid protective instincts and your heart emojis and the way you sit facing doors. I love that you tried to save your family even when it cost you everything. I love you, and I'm not going anywhere. He kissed me like I was oxygen, like I was hope, like I was the only good thing left in his destroyed world. I love you too, he breathed. God, Emma, I love you so much it terrifies me. Good. We'll be terrified together. We made love that night for the first time, gentle and desperate and perfect. And after, tangled in his sheets, he said, "Marry me." I laughed. We've known each other 6 weeks. Kim family. We move fast. That's not a real proposal. Fine. He got out of bed, completely naked, dropped to one knee, and took my hand. Emma Bennett. You're brave and foolish, and you've stood by me through the worst time of my life. You make me want to be better, do better, build something worthy of you. I have no money, no prospects, and my family's in prison. But I have love. So much love for you. Will you marry me? I should have said it was too fast. Too crazy. Too much. Instead I said, yes. But I'm keeping my last name. Deal. And we're getting a cat. 2 cats. Deal. We collapsed back into bed, laughing and crying and holding each other like we might disappear. We're insane, I whispered. I adjusted my dress, the simple one from the 6th bridal shop, and looked at myself in the mirror. Today was the day. Small wedding. Well, 150 people. Which was a compromise between my mother's very small and his mother's intimate gathering. The venue was a garden. Not the private one from our first date, but close. String lights. White flowers. Everything simple and perfect. Sophie poked her head in. You ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Uncle Kim was out on good behavior. He'd walked me through the venue earlier, tears in his eyes, thanking me for standing by Ji-hoon. Min-ji was still serving her sentence but had sent a video message that made everyone cry. My parents were here. Ji-hoon's mother had flown in from Korea with approximately 70 relatives. Our two worlds, colliding in the best way. The music started. Sophie handed me my bouquet. Last chance to run, she joked. Not a chance. I walked down the aisle, my father on one arm, Uncle Kim on the other, because some traditions need updating, and saw Ji-hoon at the end. He was crying. Openly, unashamedly crying. The Korean Mafia CEO who'd stolen my chair. The man who'd lost everything and rebuilt. My best friend. My partner. My love. When I reached him, he took my hands. Hi, he whispered. Hi. You're beautiful. You're crying. Happy tears. The ceremony was perfect. Short, sweet, meaningful. We'd written our own vows. Emma, Ji-hoon said, voice shaking. 3 years ago, you looked at me and saw a man worth taking a risk on. You stood by me when I had nothing. You chose me every single day. Today, I get to choose you back. Forever. No matter what. Ji-hoon, I said, trying not to ruin my makeup. 3 years ago, you stole my chair. And my heart. You showed me that love isn't about perfect timing or easy circumstances. It's about choosing each other in the chaos. And I choose you. Always. We exchanged rings. Kissed. Everyone cheered. And just like that, Emma Bennett became Emma Bennett Kim. We'd compromised on the name thing too. At the reception, Ji-hoon pulled me onto the dance floor. Happy? He asked. Deliriously. No regrets. Not one. I kissed him. You. Only that I didn't steal your chair sooner. We danced under string lights, surrounded by family and friends and love. The business was thriving. We'd moved to a bigger apartment. The cats had their own room. Life was good. Normal. Beautiful. Later, as we cut the cake, Sophie clinked her glass for a toast. To Emma and Ji-hoon. Who proved that sometimes the best love stories start with stolen chairs and terrible first impressions. Who showed us that real love survives federal investigations, prison sentences, and mothers-in-law planning 300-person small weddings. Everyone laughed. To love that chooses itself every day. To brave, foolish women and the men who love them. To happy endings that are really just happy beginnings. To happy beginnings. Everyone cheered. Ji-hoon pulled me close. Ready for our happy beginning, Mrs. Bennett Kim? I've been ready since Christmas dinner. Even the kids' table part. Especially the kids' table part. We kissed as everyone cheered, and I thought, this is it. This is the happy ending. The one I'd read about in 1,000 romance novels. The one I never quite believed could happen in real life. But here it was. Real. Imperfect. Beautiful. Ours. And it was better than any story I'd ever edited. Because this one was mine. We did it. We made it to the end. Thank you so much for following Emma and Ji-hoon's story. If you loved this, please hit that subscribe button and drop a like. Let's prove my mom wrong and get to 10,000 views and 1,000 subscribers. Comment below which part made you cry the most. I bet it was the proposal scene. Share this with anyone who loves mafia romance with a happy ending. And remember, sometimes the best love stories start with stolen chairs and terrible first impressions. Choose love. Choose each other. Choose your happy beginning. 2 hearts.